Welcome to Beebs and Banjo on Books. Today we're going to talk to you about all the books we read in September, starting with Return to Paradise. We give this book 4 paws up. It's the second book to Leaving Paradise. It's about a boy named Caleb and a girl named Maggie. They go on a camping trip together, and he left her in the ending of the first book, so it's a pretty good read. They go on a camping trip together, and she thinks that he's the one who hit her when he was drinking. And there's like some romance in it. It's pretty interesting. I really recommend this book. I don't want to give away too much of what happens in it, so I recommend picking it up. The next book we finished is Shatter Me. We give this 5 paws up. I am like obsessed with this book. It's about a boy named Adam and a girl named Juliet. Juliet has a lethal touch, so anybody that she touches dies. So they lock her up in an asylum because she kills a little boy when she was in high school. She's been locked up, and then all of a sudden she's released by this guy named Warner. He's like the villain. He's supposed to be bad news, and he finds out all this stuff about her to try to figure her out and what's causing it so he could use her as a weapon. Adam becomes her cellmate in the asylum, and Warner hires Adam as a soldier, but Adam has other plans in mind, and he's like supposed to be the good guy and Warner's the bad guy. And it's so good. It's like a love triangle. There's lots of suspense, action. I highly recommend this book. The next book I read is Reign of Shadows. I give this book a 5-star rating. It's about a girl named Luna that's a hidden princess. She's locked away in a tower because there was a darkness that fell over the kingdom. And she's like the secret to the end of the darkness. But there's these dwellers that come and kill people. So she's locked away in this tower, and then this boy named Fowler, she runs into him when he's trying to run away from one of the dwellers. He knows how to fight. And then there's an attack on the tower, so they have to run away and try to get away from the dwellers. They're supposed to be going to like some city that's supposed to be like full of light and away from the darkness. But the ending is so crazy. I highly recommend this book. The next book I read in September is Unteachable. It's about a girl named Macy and a boy named Evan. They meet at a carnival, and Macy doesn't realize that he's her teacher, and he's like 10 years older. I believe she's 18, and he's in his 30s maybe. I can't remember their exact age difference, but this is such a good book. Gabby Reeds recommended it. I actually read for one of my books for Contemporary-a-thon, but I only read 2 books, so this is one of them that I read. I didn't get too far in it because I was in a lot of pain. I have a tooth pulled, but I highly recommend this book. I give it a 5-star rating. The next book I read is Who Do You Think You Are? This book was okay. It's about short stories about friendship and enemies. I didn't really like too many of the stories, but there's one that really stuck out called Where Are You Going? Where Have You Been? By Joyce Carol Oates. It's about a girl that's like, she goes to like a drive-in movie, and then she's like obsessed with looks, and she always wants to look good, but then she talks to this boy at the drive-in movie, and just like the ending's so crazy. The next book I read is Goodbye Perfect by Sarah Bernard. This is also about student-teacher relationship. This is the second book I read for the Contemporary-a-thon. It was supposed to be for a hard-hitting book, I believe. It's about 2 best friends named Eden and Bonnie. Bonnie's a straight-A student, and Eden's been the adoptive child. She's more of like a little bit wilder, but then she finds out that Bonnie's secretly dating somebody. And then she ends up finding out that she didn't tell her, but she's dating her teacher. Then there's like reporters and how articles in the paper about how the teacher's been flirting with everybody in school, and it goes into like the family's trying to figure out where Bonnie is, but Eden doesn't want to tell because they're supposed to be best friends. She wants to keep it a secret because it's like girl code, she wants to have her best friends back. So then Eden has a boyfriend and they go on a road trip to try to find Bonnie without letting Bonnie know. And there's lots of relationships and sister relationships, forbidden relationships, like this is like a really good book. I give this a 5-star rating. The next book I read is Making a Play by Abby Glines. This is the 5th book of the Teal Party series. I give this book a 5-star rating. About Riker, Lee, and Aurora. There's racism in it, and I believe the girl's deaf, so she doesn't talk, and her brother, Hunter, is being overprotective of her, and the father doesn't like that black guy, so it's kind of about like racial discrimination and like loving somebody for who they are. And Riker was more like a playboy. He had a girlfriend, I guess, and they just broke up before Aurora comes along, and then typical love story, but it's so good. The series is amazing. I highly recommend it. And it's also about like football. They're on this football team, high school football team, and it talks about their ups and downs. Like, they talk about the sport and the games that they have and everything. It's so good. The next book I read is Fault Line. I give this book a 5-star rating. It's about a boy named Ben and a girl named Annie. They're in this really cute relationship until one day she goes to a party without him and she gets raped. It's such a crazy book. I really liked it though. I highly recommend this one. The next book I read is After the Kiss. I give this book a 3-star rating. It's about 2 girls, Becca and Camille. It was a very quick read. They both end up falling in love with the same guy, but I didn't really get too attached to it. It's just like a really quick read. It's not like very long pages. The next book I read is Smashed. I almost didn't finish this book. It's about a girl that gets into drinking in high school and how she gets addicted to it. The beginning was pretty good. Talked about how it started in high school and the different guys that she meets and how they took advantage of her. I wasn't really into it too much. I almost didn't finish it, so I don't really recommend this book, but if you want to still pick it up, hopefully you enjoy it more than me. And the last book I read is Words We Don't Say by K.J. Riley. I really enjoyed this book. I give it a 5-star rating. It's about a boy that has 900 unsaid text messages. He's not social and his best friend passed away, so he's kind of like the quiet type. He works at a soup kitchen for people that are homeless with this girl Ellie that he has a huge crush on. So it shows like all the text messages that he wants to send to the principal, but he doesn't send them. It's saved like as a draft. And he has a little brother. It's a good book about family, relationships, finding out who you are. I like how it talks about the veterans that go into the soup kitchen and how they come back from the war and they're all in like post-traumatic stress. It's very good. I highly recommend this book. And that's all the books I read so far in September. Thanks for watching.